Hi, today I want to present to you another very exciting project. It is called the Generation Forest, and it's called Generation Forest because they produce forests that should last generations. These are forests planted in Latin America, in Panama. I think they started around 20 years ago, and they planted not monoculture plantations, they plant multi-species plantations in a way to mimic a natural ecosystem, but at the same time they try to create revenues from timber in a sustainable way by selective logging activities. The special thing is I visited these projects also maybe 14 years 14 years ago for the first time, and I want to show you now one location and how it has evolved and how data could prove the success and the impact over time. So if you go to this project on Explorer, you look for the Generation Forest, you will see the location of all the areas where they have planted, and I'm flying with you now into one very specific location. La Reina, that's how the finca is called. So you see here some drone imagery from before. So you see that there were a few patches of forest left, and we want to see how this area has evolved. So for this, I'm going to switch on the satellite timeline. And as you can see here, so the picture is a little bit blurry, but you can see the finca is surrounded by closed canopy, but within the finca, which they usually used for cattle farming, there are no trees or just a few trees left. If we look how the area looks today, we can do that with a satellite here. Satellite image, you can very clearly see how the forest has come back. And of course you can go through the satellite timeline and see the different states on how it has evolved. In addition, there's also the option to activate a drone image. Here you could also very nicely see that the old trees from the beginning have remained, but then the intersection has been planted with forests. And there's a strong difference between the outside and the inside. And yeah, even visitors who visited the finca, this reforestation area, could confirm by taking photos from inside that this has happened. But what does this all mean regarding, for example, the carbon storage in that area? And for this reason, I have picked out the global forest above ground biomass. And it starts 2010 and goes to 2021. And I want to see how the carbon content in this location has evolved. And I will go through the timeline first step by step. And I think it's quite obviously that the area is getting greener and greener towards very dark green. So I compare it with the first state, so which had very little to little carbon, to the state of 2021, where you can see that the carbon has increased. So the dark side shows a high amount of carbon, the lighter side shows very little carbon in this area. So I remove it just to show you again the nice reforestation, diverse reforestation area. I think this is a great example of how reforestation can have a significant impact. We're looking forward to explore more of such projects. Have a great day.